The world we live in today is imperfectly wicked, and it's decaying by the second. The debate around evolution and creation rages on. With so much nonsense information being thrown around like, why evolution is true and why many people still don't believe it, and the Bible's Old Testament is the most accurate history book ever written. People today are left with more questions than answers. We know they can't be both true. One must be false while the other's true. When viewing videos in YouTube, I noticed that there was no actual evidence for either. It was this lack of evidence got me thinking, are people of today's world really this misinformed? Recently I was just watching videos on YouTube about the subject when I stumbled on a thread with the question: I dare any biblical creationist to provide one single evidence for the Genesis account of creation. I want a rational discussion. After reading this question, I thought I'd help the people commenting on the subject out by answering the question for them, to which I did, only to find out 2 days later my comment was deleted. So I reposted my comment only to have it deleted a second time. I thought, typical, people ask for the truth and when you give it to them, they dismiss the evidence and carry on the debate as if nothing was said. It was this that frustrated me so much. Not only were people not allowed to see my comment and share their point of view, the video owner here was clearly hiding truths by allowing misinformation to thrive. So after my comments were deleted, I started searching YouTube to see if anyone else had put this evidence together. But I couldn't find anyone with the same information. So I decided to post my evidence here on YouTube so, not only I can read people's points of view, but their opinions too. Plus I also want give people the power to end the argument between evolution and creation once and for all. Clearly, if there was no God, we wouldn't have any concept of God. Don't believe me? Okay then, think of something humans have no concept of. Crazy, huh? Warning. What you're about to hear may cause nausea, headaches, loss of breath, anger, or even body shock. Let's begin with a question. Over the 5,000 years of recordable human history, mankind has created many things such as the pen, the spoon, the car, the airplane, the house. Ask yourself the question: in your reality, are all human creations inventions, a delusion, or intelligent design? Don't think too hard, this is observable science. As to the Genesis account, the Genesis account states that on the third day land, plants and vegetation came to be. Incidentally, the account here does not mention every kind of plant that came on the scene, but it was most likely to be microscopic organisms, water plants, and others not specifically named, but the likelihood is that they were created on this day. Which brings up the question, how long is a Genesis day? Many consider the word day used in the Genesis chapter 1 to mean 24 hours. However, in Genesis 1:5 it says God divided day into a smaller period of time. In Hebrew, the word yom can be translated to mean different lengths of time. Like, for instance, saying, Michael Jordan was a great basketball player in his day, or the Beatles rocked in their day. This is describing a length of time or a time period. So a Genesis day could means the first Genesis day was a period of that spanned over 500 billion years, with the second Genesis day lasting 300 million years. I don't exactly know the scale, but this is just to help you understand the meaning of one Genesis day. So to continue, the Genesis account states on the third day plants and vegetation were created, then it wasn't until the fifth day the waters swarm forth swarming living souls. So to prove the Genesis account is very simple. All we have to do is prove in the fossil record that plants came before animals. And to do this we have to look at Precambrian life. The Precambrian organisms. Precambrian organisms served as early forms for the Cambrian explosion animals. The problem is, these fossilized organisms bear no clear relationship to any organisms that appear in the Cambrian explosion period. Nor do they resemble any animal that existed after. Furthermore, the Ediacaran Precambrian organisms do not have obvious heads, mouths, sense organs, guts, or eyes, but yet they have obvious cell walls. It is this that's causing some dumb paleontologists to question whether they should be even considered animals. They are not bacteria, they are not viruses. Also an important note, animals don't have cell walls. There is no microfossil animal that has cell walls. Plants like diatoms and algae have cell walls which can be clearly seen through the fossil records. Bacteria can be seen also. This highlights another important question. What are the Precambrian organisms? We know from the fossil records that the Cambrian organisms have obvious heads, mouths, sense organs, guts, and already complex eyes. But the Precambrian organisms have no obvious heads, mouths, sense organs, guts, or eyes, so could these Precambrian organisms be plants? Which brings us to our next question, why are aquatic plants so important for aquatic life? The easy answer is, underwater plants provide oxygen, food, and shelter. So if this is the purpose of underwater plants, what did the Cambrian explosion organisms eat and breathe if there were no underwater plants? Well, we know from descendants of the Cambrian explosion organisms that live today, some eat phytoplankton, zooplankton, diatoms, or Dunaliella, and this hasn't changed for millions of years. So could it be that Precambrian life was in fact not animals at all but the first no record of plants? Plants to oxygenation the waters, to provide food and shelter for the forthcoming Cambrian explosion organisms. If so, we should see fossil evidence for that. Correct? Well, we do. Take a look at this picture of Ediacaran life and tell me what you see. Plants, right? So let's look at the evidence. We have the sudden appearance of animal forms that are already complex yet have no transitional intermediate ancestry. This blows the theory of evolution out of the water, for this is not a slow natural selection process. We have the sudden appearance of Precambrian plants that acted as food for the Cambrian explosion animals. When these Cambrian animals devoured most of the Precambrian plants, the Cambrian explosion animals' natural instincts kick in. Many Cambrian explosion animals began hunting other Cambrian animals, while some shellfish and the like carried on hunting and eating Precambrian plants organisms. So once again, what proves the Genesis account? Precambrian plant organisms appearing before animal life. As correctly written and stated by Moses in the year 1513 B.C.E. What does this mean for evolution? Yes, this means the theory of evolution is officially and completely dead. Thank you for your time.